Happy Wednesday, everybody. What's good? It's your boy Ruck in the building, man. We haven't done a morning vibe in a minute, and we are bringing them back on the bye week, man. It's felt weird, man, not having a lot to talk about this week. Obviously, still just dwelling on that South Carolina victory. What a victory it was. I got a lot still to talk about, a little bit about that victory. I got a lot of things that I kind of want to run down today. And it won't be such a long show like normal, but I do have some points, man, that I really want to run down today. I want to talk a little bit about the injuries that we have seen, the health of that wide receiver room now with Brew McCoy out. Who steps up in that room? Somebody has to become alpha. Who is it? I think a lot of us have a clue who we would like to see it be, but in your mind, who has to be the guy that steps up in that wide receiver room? Moving away from that, the defense is better than advertised. I think that after you look at the PFF grades, you look at a lot of the things up front with the pass rush, the defense is a lot better than we thought we were, and that is a great sign leading into this next gauntlet of 3 games. But then also the defense as a whole, but I think that the defensive backs, we got to give them a little bit more credit. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Ruck in the building. It's straight up Tennessee, baby. Welcome to the midweek chat morning style on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Let's get it.
From 40, on the way, a knuckleball. He got it!
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to this morning vibe on a Wednesday. It is also the midweek chat. Y'all know what to do, man. It is the top of the show. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Hit the bell notification right now so y'all never miss an episode. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, man, we're glad you're listening to us over there as well, man. Rate us 5 stars and let people know why they need to be listening to Straight Up Tennessee, baby. It's your boy Ruck in the building this morning, man, and I am rolling solo. That man Turner does not have a luxury like me where I get the opportunity to work from home. So I have already knocked out some morning emails today, and I said, shoot, let's get on here and talk a little Tennessee football. I wanted to kind of dive in a little bit to a couple of things, like I said in the intro. Before I even get into football, man, Tennessee basketball and the NBA Memphis Grizzlies Media Day was yesterday. It was really good to see Rick Barnes, man. He met with the media for nearly 30 minutes, talked a lot about the growth of the team, obviously the veteran leadership coming back with Santiago Vescovi and Josiah Jordan-James. There's a lot that this team could prove this year, I think, with the additions of Jordan Gainey, the additions of Dalton Connect, the additions of Freddie DeLone, who didn't play last year. You know, he came middle of the year, knew he wouldn't play a lot last year, right? But now I can see him as Zakai is getting healthy. He could be that starting one guard with him and Jordan. So Jordan Gainey and Freddie DeLone are going to be 2 guys to really put your eyes on for this basketball season. Obviously, if you hadn't heard the news, DJ Jefferson had actually not currently been practicing with the team. He had been kind of sidelined, not due to injury, but due to some disciplinary things. Said that he's not acting like a Tennessee Volunteer. And Rick Barnes has set a culture and a standard, and he is living by it. And I respect it. The culture was built, I felt like, back in 2018 to 19, 19 to 20. You see, when you had that Grant and Admiral and Bowden run, Kyle Alexander also a part of that team. that team set the culture, I felt like, for what Tennessee basketball was going to be for years to come. Tough-nosed, gritty, um, defend at a high level, and you're going to be a great student as well as a great teammate. And it just seems as if DJ hasn't had one of those 2 or 3 things click. And so he hasn't been practicing with the team, but he was at media day and available. And so, yeah, I respect Coach Barnes for that. And no matter how talented you are, he does not care about that. He wants you to live up to the expectations of what Tennessee basketball does at all levels, from student to coach to player to influence. You must live up to that standard, and I respect Rick Barnes for not allowing DJ to practice, even though he is going to be a great 3-and-D type player for this team. Athletic, bouncy, very, very stingy with the basketball, can get after you defensively. It reminds me of a little bit more athletic Jamon Meshack, who's already on this basketball team. I feel like DJ and him can play off of each other a lot, defend at a high level, defend the 3-ball, and really get after teams and force them to choose what they want to do, because we're going to put them in situations where the one-on-one game is not going to work. And I like that about this basketball team this year. They're preseason top 10. Interested to see kind of how the year unfolds. They got a first game here in a couple of weeks. And so I'm hoping to get to a couple of games this year, Lord willing. And because, gosh, TBA is always hard to get into. Once you get into SEC play, those tickets jump quickly, and I don't want to see a crappy game. So hopefully I can get into a couple of good ones. Obviously, everybody wants to go see Kentucky, and I would love to see that this year with Rob Dillingham, Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner. There's a lot of guys over there at Kentucky that I would like to see play live as well in TBA. So enough about basketball right now, but we're gearing up for it. And y'all know it's straight up Tennessee, baby. All things, bro. Vols to the Grizzlies. And John Morant actually was not at media day for the Grizzlies, which was kind of strange, but he is suspended from all team activity. So that included media day. And I just hope Ja understands now it's bigger than basketball, bro. Like, you're not even allowed to be a part of the team picture, my dude. Like, you are the superstar on this team, and you can't even be involved. Like, that's crazy, bro. That's wild. Sorry, fam. I had to take a little drink. Throat was getting a little dry. But, man, let's dive into some Tennessee football. Like I said earlier in the intro, kind of want to talk about the injuries and the health of the receivers. Obviously, Brew McCoy's done. Dislocation, fracture of his ankle. And Dante Thornton is nursing a hamstring injury. And if you've never had a hamstring injury, then you don't understand that it is one of those nagging things that you just can't fight quickly. And it worries me because he was dealing with this same hamstring issue over the course of spring. Is why he didn't play in the orange and white game. And it's kind of seemed like that lingering issue has returned. Who steps up in this receiver room? I'm hearing a lot of conversation about there's a potential that D. Williams gets to suit up at the receiver position. I'm not against it, but do I think that is going to actually happen? It's hard for me to say. But if it does, wow. What could that do for this Tennessee football team? I mean, goodness gracious, we know how dynamic D is in space. You get him a punt, anything in space, he can make something out of nothing. Do you quick screen D to death because it's not hard to learn, right? Or do you get him in there in the slot and you run 9 balls and quick post and little things like that? I don't know. But for me, I think that the guy that has to step up now and be alpha is not who you guys think. For me, it's Ramel Keaton. I feel as if Ramel Keaton has been this kind of consistent, but not, alpha dog really the last 2 years, right? Cedric Tillman goes down last year. Ramel Keaton comes in out of necessity and has a great year. But now, as Ramel Keaton is a senior, it is now kind of like, okay, Ramel, you're making a name for yourself now. What are you going to do with that? And now obviously with Brew out, it's even bigger. It's an even bigger stage for Ramel Keaton. So now, can Ramel Keaton put the pieces together? Can he become a leader in that receiver room? We know that he leads by actions, but can he vocally become the voice of that locker room for the receivers? Can he become and kind of empty the shell per se of what he's had? Like he's a quiet guy. He's a quiet guy. He leads by example, like I said. But can he come out of that? Because we're going to need Ramel these next 7 games to truly turn it on and be that alpha. I think the easiest answer for people would be Squirrel White. But again, Squirrel White, another quiet guy, not leads by example. Ramel Keaton is a senior. He's been here. He's done this. Now is his time to be alpha. Will he take the opportunity? Will Ramel Keaton say, you know what? Forget my personal preferences. Forget how people view me. I'm alpha and I'm going to be alpha and I'm going to do this for 1-5. Like, I'm going to become that alpha dog that I have to because this team needs me to. Ramel, you're talented. He's talented as all get out. Can he become that number 1 receiver? I think Squirrel's still going to get the most targets, right? The slot position is the position in the receiver room in the Josh Heupel offense. But can Ramel Keaton take some ownership off the field with this receiver room and translate it, right? Can he translate it to the football field? I think in general, though, Ramel needs to be the dog of the room. But I think in general, the tight ends are going to be one of the most important pieces to this offense now. The quick throws, the hitches, the slants. I think now those balls are now going to go to tight ends more. Jacob Warren, McCallan Castles, can he bounce back from the performance against South Carolina that just wasn't very good? That room as a whole is going to be, in all honesty, I'm trying to even think of the best way to say this. That tight end room, in all honesty, has to become the most consistent room on the team. And it's because the targets are going to go up. They have to now. Brew McCoy, the quick slants, the screen passes that get 10, 15 yards because Brew just pushing guys out of the way, that's gone. But the tight ends can make those plays. Can Jacob Warren consistently stay on the field? Can he have great games like he did against South Carolina, man? Jacob Warren blocking well, catching the football. You kind of wish he fights a little better on that interception that Joe threw. But at the same time, body's out of position. You can't really go up and get that ball the way you want to. But you do still wish, you're like, man, go fight for that thing a little more. But at the same time, can that room become like Joe's safety blanket, for example? Like, typically in the Josh Heupel offense, the safety blanket has been, a slot receiver running an under or a drag or a quick screen. But can the tight ends become that, right? Like, I think with what we're going to miss the most with Brew McCoy is the effort and physicality that he brought. It's not the deep ball. It's not the it's not the big time catches per se. It's the effort, man. Like he catches a 2-yard pass and he could take it 15 because the effort was there. So we're going to miss the effort side of the receiving core, but the tight ends, I feel like, can bring that into the offense, and they got to be involved a lot more. If D. Williams does indeed become a part of the offense in a small way, I'd love to get you guys' thoughts. Like, comment below. Like, do you really think that it's that big of an impact? Or is it just like another good option? Because I lean kind of towards I don't think it's going to be as big of an impact as we think. I think that he himself is an impact and he's a game changer, but moving him to another position and trying to fit him in there and teach him how to run routes, and it's not easy. We got guys that have been playing receiver their whole life who can't run routes, right? Like, or I shouldn't say who can't run routes, but we got guys who have been receivers their whole life who are still learning how to run routes. Let me say it that way. The routes aren't crisp, or the routes aren't exactly the correct way. And now you're going to put a guy who's played defensive back pretty much his whole collegiate career, and we're going to try to potentially maybe put him at slot or something on the offensive side of the football. I like the thought more than I do the application. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the thought of it because I know how dynamic D is with the football. But as far as it actually happening and it being done well, I just don't know. Y'all comment below. Let me know what you think. I'd love to get the ball in his hands, but does it make sense is what I'm saying. Does it make sense? Do you see a young guy, Caleb Webb or Chaz Nimrod or Nathan Leacock's name has been thrown around by Josh Heupel in the last few days? Do you see a guy like that come in and make a huge difference? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Really, the next and last thing I kind of want to talk about this morning is that PFF grades and defense have completely been like out of this world all year. Specifically the South Carolina game. The defense, wow. Like the what they what they were able to accomplish, right, was far greater than a grade. Like, forget the PFF stuff, right? But like actually looking at what they accomplished was massive. You sacked Spencer Rattler 6 times. You hurry him a ton. I kind of want to run through these PFF grades just a little bit. I know Eric Kane over there at Locked On Vols. Shout out to you, my guy. Man, we should collab at some point. Y'all get Kaner in here, man. Let's collab with Eric Kane. I love that guy, man. Love Locked On Vols. Love his content. Love what he brings to the Tennessee football scope of things. And, man, I think we could bounce off a lot of ideas on each other and really just have great conversations, man. So somebody plug Locked On with us, bro. But anyways, I knew that this kid had a great game watching him. Wesley Walker ended up having the highest overall PFF grade other than the defensive end, Tyler Barron. He was at an 82.2. Tyler Barron had 37 snaps and was a 90.7, which is considered elite. You know, the PFF grades are weird, the way that they do them. It's like 90 to 99 is elite. 80-something to 80 is starter. And then you got above average starter, above average, and then basically trash. But the offensive line as well, but I'm going to go back to defense, but the offensive line as well, that same line, Mincy, Spraggs, Coop, John Campbell, and Ollie Lane, that's your offensive line the rest of the year. I don't care who gets healthy. I don't care. That's the O-line. Them boys was locked in together. One big thing that I want to say, obviously, I'm talking about how the defense is better. This defense is number 1 in the country in total sacks with 22. In the country. In the country. I didn't stutter. This defense is the number 1 defense in the country in sacks. They are 5th in the country in tackles for loss. This defense is better than advertised. We know that what happened in Florida. We know what happened. It happens, right? Like, you have bad days. And that you're pissed as a Vol fan that was the bad game, because it's like, man, how can you not wake up and go beat and want to beat Florida? But sometimes, man, you just have a bad night. And we did that night. Kamal Hadden is having himself a year according to PFF. our Instagram page got into a little scuffle on the Vol Report page about Kamal Hadden. We just basically were like, hey, stop booing the kid. Like, we got to stop booing the kid during his starting lineups. Like, what is the point in that? If your son played at the University of Tennessee, if your child, your best friend, whatever, it don't matter, somebody close to you is playing at a Division I football level and 100,000 fans are booing him during the starting lineups, would you not be pissed off a little bit? I don't care if he's played bad in some games or if he had misassignment or if he can't tackle, because I'm telling you, he can't tackle. That's okay. It's not okay. But you get what I'm saying. He's a defensive back. He ain't he needs to learn how to tackle better, but the numbers are not lying. Kamal Hadden has 2 interceptions on the year, one of them being a pick 6. He's got 10 pass breakups. He's only allowed like minus 70 yards all year long. Like, he really hasn't had a bad year. So other than the Florida game that everybody's going to remember, that he just missed that tackle on the big run that honestly led Florida into the first big touchdown of the game that kind of opened and broke the game open for them. That's all they're going to remember Kamal Hadden for, which is, come on, y'all. Like, we are the most supportive fan base in the country, but we also are the most pessimistic fan base in the country. Can somebody please just, like, we got to stop. Like, we got to stop that. His numbers ain't lying, and he's playing at a higher level than he has been. Yes, last year at South Carolina, he got torched. He don't deserve to be booed. Like, come on, man. We got to stop that. We got to stop the boos for Kamal Hadden. And the defensive backs as a whole are playing well due to the success of that frontline pressure, man. Gabe Jeudy-Lally. Ooh, boy, I love watching him play, man. Wesley Walker, I love watching Wes fly around. Jalen McCullough, Tank has been kind of like a silent killer this year. He hasn't really got busted on. Like, there hasn't been a big bust around where he is. He's been really solid all year long. And it's just what it is me and Turner talk about this a lot. It's that, you know, everybody's like, the defense is winning us games. The defense is doing that. They're supposed to. What's the saying? Defense wins championships. That's what you hear. And Tennessee was never going to get to a championship without first solidifying how and when will this defense get better. And they've gotten better, and they're going to continue to get better. We're only going into game 6, y'all. A&M at home, 3:30 kick next Saturday. This is the meat of the schedule, man. A&M, Bama, Kentucky at Kentucky, Bama at Bama. Like, these next 3 are going to show us a lot about who we are. We got to go 2-1, period. Shoot, 3-0. If you go 3-0 in these next 3, Brody, woo, hey, people going to start talking about Tennessee once again. If Tennessee somehow goes 3-0 in these next 3, people going to start yapping again, man. Tennessee's legit. Tennessee's back, yada, yada, yada. And I can't wait for it. I can't wait. And I hope we do. 2-1 is what we have to go. We can't afford to lose 2 in October. We got to handle our business, and we handled our first business at the end of September against South Carolina, and now you get a gauntlet, man. And so, y'all, this has been the midweek chat, the morning vibe. Also, James Pierce is a first-round draft pick. He's a true sophomore. He'll play next year, and that brother is gone. He is going to go get a bag. But it's been the midweek chat, man, this morning. Hope y'all have had a great morning so far, but also hope you have a great day. More than likely, we will be back on Friday just to have the last, chop it up Friday. Just have one episode, talk about a couple of things that's rolled out this week. But until then, man, thank you guys for the love and the support. We're on our way to 800 subscribers. Continue to like, continue to comment. Continue to subscribe. Apple and Spotify, we love y'all, man. We appreciate you. Until Friday, you already know what it is, man. It's straight up Tennessee, baby. We'll see you later this week.